I've been thinking about all the questions that people ask about our style in Gakuen and the teachings of our Grandmaster Wong. For a very long time, I have debated this issue, and one of the things that everybody's so concerned about is not stepping on anybody's toes in reality, and what it does basically, it leaves a lot of people in the dark, and students that are maybe truly searching as to what the style's about, what is the authenticity of it, and what comes with it and what doesn't. Um, I happen to believe, and I could be wrong on this assessment, the fact that, since after 1968, for what I understand, when Seeming arrived to the United States, of course, all I know is what is written about it is the fact that Master Wong already had a program set aside to partake or to impart to his grandson. As a matter of fact, it's common knowledge that Sifu did not get to meet his son until he was 38 years old. So his son never had an opportunity to actually train Kung Fu that I'm aware of. I could be wrong, and that could be debated, but that being the case, it wasn't that way. For the years that Sifu actually trained and the people that came before us, the problem that I run into early in the 90s after Sifu passed away and we stayed around helping Simin to keep his promises as to what Sifu had asked him. We were not there, but, we believe that's what he asked him to do, not to ever close the school, was that, I personally, I don't know of anyone else that wanted to find the old students, if they were still alive, if these people had actually tried to continue with the legacy of our master. And what I really found was people on a thread or a chat room, a question about who is Master Wong, and that's why I got started. I started before anybody else out there in regards to our style. And that being said, I was able to find people claiming to be the last disciple, the only one, the one that actually finished the program. And it was rather interesting for me to see that. So when I started to question, not necessarily question the integrity, but question the dates and times that these people have been there, instead of having a response to say, well, let me explain to you how this went down, which is the barrage of accusations and threats, not only to my life, but also I laughed about it, even deportation, which is kind of crazy for me. At one point, one gentleman threatened to have Siming and I deported him back to China and me back to wherever, but I don't know where he would be sending me. But anyways, that happened and never really got any answers. My question was always, I cannot argue the fact what was before, what was in between. I could only speculate what happened, but I know what happened during my time. And one of the things that I have noticed that the majority, if not most of the previous disciples of my teacher have gone to find their way and train with other teachers, which there's nothing wrong with that. But they were not actually exposing or really thoroughly training the style of Master Wong taught. They have mixed it with northern styles and so forth and so on. Nothing wrong with it. I had to say that very clearly, but nevertheless, that was the case. There was no one out there stating here, I teach, 5 family style. I started Master Wong. But every time I read something, it was either we teach Tai Chi, we teach this, we teach that. So it's kind of hard to find someone that I thought might be, if you could use the word authentic. That never happened. So through the thread conversations in the chat rooms, again, I found students from Mexico wanting to find the roots back to our seafood. Many of these students have been trained under the tutelage of Master Ralph Xiang, who was my Sifu or one of his main assistants. Actually, Ralph Xiang had actually lived at Sifu's house for a season. I don't know how long, but that's the information I got while training. So this man also had a tremendous amount of experience that he gathered in Hawaii. So that being said, Grandmaster Cisneros, who I call him a grandmaster for me because I think is to be given to him, because this is the man that brought our style to Mexico and it grew it to a place where it was imaginable that no one had ever done in the United States before, or ever, for that matter. Now, whatever happened in between that, I'm not going to judge about it. I'm not really certain because I wasn't there. I did, however, meet Master Cisneros quite a few times at the daily school, and at one point he had invited me to go to train his black belt with the snake style form down in my goodness, the name escapes me. But anyways, I can tell you this, that it was a great honor to have met him. We had a daughter and a son of his training at our Kung. But aside from that, I don't know anything about his family and personal life. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing that I say is that this is a man that deserves not to be forgotten. Whatever the politics that are down under in our countries could be really volatile, but that's just the way things are. At any rate, to set this record straight, I don't have any claims. I never have. I'm just so thrilled to have been part of the last few years of my teacher. And I can tell you this, that there was many of my brothers that actually helped me, and I learned quite a bit from all of them. But I also learned some things directly from Master Wong that for some reason people still thinking that that was not a possibility. Not a whole lot, but a lot of conversations, dinners, and meetings as to questions basically more from me, because I was a student and I had a tremendous amount of questions for him, because I wanted to understand why I was moving in such a way and why this movement came after the other and so forth. And those are some of the things that he said that a lot of people just did not study his style. They're not really concentrate or really try to take the secrets within, whatever those were. No one to this point can actually say, when is the program finished? If you would ask the Master Association, Siming now, does he know? You know, most of the other styles that I've heard, they post their credentials as to you know, what their system entails, what is taught, and the grading systems as to when one can become an instructor, a master instructor, a teacher, or a master, whatever, you know, whatever you want to call it. But all I see is a lot of people with a lot of degrees that, oh my goodness, I don't know that I'll ever reach them. They're so high above me. A 9th degree, 10th degree, grandmaster, and it's like, oh my goodness, it just, it makes me feel like I'm just a little grain of sand in the midst of giants. But I don't know if those titles are self-applied or given by others, and that's a difficulty for a lot of people. So I'll be probably posting a few more of these emails as my mind just kind of comes and goes as I'm getting old. But to tell you that Master Wong still lives in the heart and minds of many of us outside of groups that are not interested in the monetary parts of it, but just to be able to somehow let that system be forgotten. And I did say in my last thread, my last post, that creativity is actually one of our items that we actually pursue, because after you become a proficient stylist, if you are a student, you start seeing within the forms, and you're able not to break them up for fighting. And that's exactly the ultimate goal of a teacher, and that the student actually understands and absorbs the essence of a system. Without it, the student just playing around. And that's the reason why they get into other styles immediately without even finishing a certain amount of knowledge, at least to an intermediate level. Nothing wrong with going out and training other styles that I think will make you a better fighter or a better student. So more power to you if you can afford to pay all those schools. But the majority of the schools that are out there, the teachers will not teach the essence of their style just to anybody. You have to stay there for a while in order for them to capture your moral ethics and values as to who you really are before you can actually get the essence of any system whatsoever, at least if this master is a traditional teacher. So anyways, God bless you guys. I'm here in Texas representing, I don't know of anybody really that I can actually say authentic. What is that? And what is the program of Engakwen? What is the curriculum of Engakwen? And who's a 9th, 10th, 7th degree? It sounds almost like masonry. So anyways, guys, God bless you. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.